right, what's up, everybody? And a very happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Or I should say happy Thanksgiving Eve is probably more appropriate. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you all had a good week. Many of you, this is probably like the Friday for most of you. Most people are taking off, obviously, tomorrow and Friday. We're going to head down to 34th Street, Herald Square. And we'll go ahead and check out some of the Thanksgiving festivities. The city looks awesome. Lots of energy, but also at the same time, in terms of corporate America, it's been quite tame, quite quiet today. Once again, we're right here on 57th Street, right on the corner of 5th Avenue, outside the Tiffany building. I see Doc 7, Lemonade, what's going on? Alan is here. Cheers. Good to see everybody. Quite the volatile day on the street. Some big moves in gold, some big moves in Bitcoin. But overall volumes are quite timid. Maria, Lance, good to see everybody. Stephen Bate, Dave in Maine. What's up, Dave? John says, everybody ready for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade tomorrow? Hopefully. It's going to rain. Unfortunately, it's supposed to rain pretty much all day tomorrow. Esmar, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. Before we head down, we might as well take a quick updated look at the Trump Tower. Check out all the festivities there. Jack says, any update on the Rangers? I don't really watch hockey. I'm not a big sports guy, to be quite honest. But, yeah, I really can't advise on that. I would love to go to a Rangers game, honestly, but I couldn't name, like, one Rangers player there. But speaking of the New York Rangers, I just sold one of our listings at 5 Franklin Place. And it sold. It was a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bathroom apartment, just under 2,000 square feet. It was like 1,900 and some change. I think 1,960 square feet. Sold for $2.9 million, and the apartment right above the one that we were listing. Probably one of the most famous New York Rangers of all time lives there. So it's kind of cool. Every time I would show it, I would run into him and his kids. Really, really nice guy. But anyway, won't be running into him anymore because now it's sold. This is Trump Tower. It's open to the public from 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. This is looking up by the Tiffany. Bam, what's going on? Cheers. Alan, welcome. Reggie44, Professor Daddio, good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody. Marie, right back at you. Let's go ahead and check out some of the holiday displays / decorations. Thank you. So this is the main lobby inside the Trump Tower. Quite a grand lobby. It's a little bit retro though, right? Kind of takes you back to the 80s. It is quite nice. It smells good. You have 2 main retail fronts here. The Gucci store, it's your right and left. It's the same store but different entrances. Now it's funny, way back in the day, up here where it says Italian Food Zone, that actually used to be a Starbucks location. Obviously it is no longer Starbucks. You have the elevated banks, which will take you to the office section. The residential for the condominiums are on the other side, which we've seen that entrance many, many times. And over here is the presidential seal, as well as the whiskey bar. You can see all the flags for the armed forces. You see the Air Force, Marines, Navy. You can even see the Space Force flag as well. Oftentimes people forget that that is an official branch of the military now. So shout out to everybody serving in the Space Force. And all armed forces, by the way. This is the main Christmas tree. This used to act as a massive waterfall here. I believe it still does in the summer. Obviously, when they have the Christmas decorations, they're not going to have the waterfall on, but it smells nice in here. On the lower level, you have the Trump Grill, which I've eaten in here many times. But on the top level, you have that whiskey bar. And these are the very famous escalators where, Trump first announced he was running for president. Yeah, Professor Dario, you're correct. There was a connection with the former Nike. So now this retail is going to be taken over by Tiffany, but you're correct. So if you look all the way back there before the atrium, just off to the left, way back in the day, that used to be the Nike flagship store. So you're 100% spot on. Yeah, that's quite the throwback there. I used to go into that Nike store as a teenager, but that is now, it's not the Tiffany, it's the Louis Vuitton, temporary Louis Vuitton store. But yes, in general, you are correct. One more look at the 45 presidential seal. And then I'll show you the main American flag here. And there's you used to be able to go all the way up on the roof. This was way back in the day. They usually close it off, but through here, these elevators will take you to the offices and the garden. I had a meeting in here. I told you guys once. It was kind of a funny story for those of you who haven't heard it. I had a meeting in the International Business Center here in Trump Tower. This was post-COVID. And it's absolutely gorgeous up there. It's all brand new. They just did a complete renovation after the pandemic. But when you get into the business center, every single TV is set to CNN, every single one of them. I thought it was kind of funny because obviously Trump usually has massive clashes with CNN. And I'm like, how ironic. You go up to have a meeting at the business center at Trump Tower, and all the TVs are set to CNN. Anyway, all right, let's do kind of a whole walkthrough at the main holiday displays. There's something new that we haven't seen, which we will make kind of an expedition to tonight, right outside of the Central Park Tower, 217 West 57th Street. There's like this massive, very unique looking Christmas display. I don't even know how to explain it. So we'll walk there and we'll check it out. But first, guys, let's do the nightly audio and visual check, and then we'll say hello to everybody in the chat. So if you guys can hear us, and if we're streaming in 1080p, just go ahead and leave a thumbs up in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get started on this Thanksgiving Eve. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. This is the Bergdorf Goodman across the street. Crown Building as always. Looks beautiful tonight. This is the Amman, New York, with that big snowflake. But I do want to show you one thing here. On the facade of the Louis Vuitton store across the street, you see these big, it's like a massive giraffe. Hey, Peter, what's going on? Good to see you. Esmeralda, happy Thanksgiving Eve to you. Hopefully you're doing well. So good evening, everybody, and welcome back to a unique version of Walks in Wall Street on Thanksgiving Eve. I want to start off by saying I think we all have a lot to be thankful for, and I wish all of you the best and a very, very happy Thanksgiving. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat, and then we'll just kind of make our rounds throughout the city. We'll check out all the holiday displays, and then we'll probably catch the tail end of the setup and the rehearsals at Macy's. So I see Connie Ruiz, Michelle Henry, the one and only Cosmos Scary, Esmeralda, Alan, New England Crypto, what's going on? We have a little bit of a relief rally in Bitcoin. Looks like we corrected right down to our 21-day moving average. Bounced off rather strong. It's crazy because we've had a $5,000 move, a massive bid, $5,000 bid in Bitcoin just over the last 24 hours. I think we got down as low as 90,000. And I think as of recording the live stream, I think we're at, what, 96 are we trading at? Like 95,500. So it's been quite the volatile few days for the digital asset. Gold has had a nice relief rally as well. So we'll talk about that, and we'll cover that in detail. New England Cryptos is 96.5, I believe, right now. Fantastic. Cosmos Scary. SME Media, what's going on? Hope you're well. Now, we've talked about the Tiger Cub hedge funds oftentimes on the stream. So if you don't know, Tiger Global and the Tiger Cub hedge funds, essentially everybody who's worked for Julian Robertson, who is really the pioneer and the founder of the hedge fund business. Those analysts and those traders who used to work for Julian Robertson would spin off their own funds, and those funds were kind of deemed the Tiger Cubs. And two major Tiger Cubs have been in the news recently, one for not the best reason, right? The CEO and founder of Archegos Capital Management is now going to prison for quite some time.
Are you Walks in Wall Street?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm a fan.
Oh, good to see you, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Are you guys just visiting the city?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Awesome, man. Well,
Great.
thanks for
Thank you.
watching. Appreciate it. And
Yeah.
be safe. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Those are nice kids. Here for the parade. Very cool. We'll have a great time in the city. Be safe. So one of which being in the media and in the news for essentially blowing up a massive hedge fund to the tune of $3 billion. And one could argue the demise of Credit Suisse. But number two, there was a second Tiger Cub in the news when he started the first Bitcoin fund. This was all the way back, I believe, prior to 2014. And the fund has made one purchase. And it was about 30,000 Bitcoins at, I believe, $75. And he was on CNBC just this morning. It was right around 8:30. I think he was on. You could watch the interview. I may have reposted it or retweeted it on my X page. And the fund is now up over 130,000%. Kind of crazy. So talk about being in the news, Tiger Cub hedge funds, for two very different reasons. Quite interesting. Look at this. This is the Dior store. This is new. I think they just put this up a few days ago. Hey, Techno Pink, what's going on from the Dominican Republic? Good to see all of our friends from the DR. Hopefully you guys are doing good. And hopefully you can get back to New York City sometime soon. You guys are going to start to see a lot of changes on this building right here. This is 5 East 59th Street. This is now Ari & Co., the jeweler, owns this building. This is a great piece of property. He bought it in foreclosure auction, I believe for $23 million. And his jewelry store is going to be opening in the fall of 2025, I believe. This is a great location, right here at 5 East 59th Street, which is right outside the Sherry Netherland Hotel. We actually put in a bid for that building, but we lost out on the bid. Can't win them all. And then you have 53 West 53rd Street and the Crown Building in the distance. I know, Jax is 75. Kind of insane. Now, I think there's a good lesson to learn from that interview. And in the interview, the gentleman says, you know, we were going all over the country to try to raise money for this fund. And all of our equity funds were doing really good. We could raise money for them, but nobody wanted to invest in the crypto funds. And this is coming from a guy who's a Tiger Cub, right? So has the best reputation on Wall Street, worked directly for Julian Robertson. And after traveling the country and traveling the globe to try to raise money for this early Bitcoin / crypto fund, he raised $1 million. And the reason why, I'm kind of bringing up this topic is when most people don't believe in something, or when there's high skepticism, obviously meaning higher risk, there's also much greater opportunity for alpha in that trade, right? So how many people knew about Bitcoin? And this example doesn't even have to be Bitcoin, right? It could be any stock, anything. Before it's very, very popular and in the media, if everybody is agreeing on it, and if everybody's on the same side of the trade, over time, the amount of alpha you could generate from that trade diminishes significantly. So if you have a Tiger Cub traveling the United States and traveling the world, best reputation, work for Julian Robertson, lights out track record on the street, can only raise $1 million. I mean, that's like pocket change. That's like finding a penny on the floor, for those guys. I mean, that is an exact example, and now the fund is up 135,000%. So 1,000x on the investment. And I made a post on X. Oh, this is the outside of the plaza, by the way. Beautiful building. But I made a post on X, and I said, the more an asset class is misunderstood, the more opportunity for alpha to be in it. And it's still early. I think it's still very, very early, right? If you have these debates about the digital asset ecosystem, you're going to have about 50% of people, and very well-respected people, are very against it, very abrasive. So there is a very asymmetric play here. SME Media says, what is your Thanksgiving dinner going to be? It's a really good question. Probably just going to have the basics, I should say. Probably just the basics. I don't know if I'm going to go out maybe to a restaurant or just chill at home. I'm not too sure. I mean, what are you guys going to do? Just hang out at home? Hey, Peter says, interesting fact, the cost of helium has doubled to $14 a cubic meter since 2020. Only 3 countries are major producers, the US, Qatar, and Algeria. Weren't you the one saying that it cost about $500,000 to blow up all these balloons in the city for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Was it $500,000 for all of the balloons to blow them up. They're actually doing that right now, by the way, on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. Who knows if they'll be able to fly, because it's going to be quite the rainy day, but I'm not too sure about the wind. I think they could still fly in the rain. They just can't fly in the extreme wind. It's a nice color Vespa. Hey, Austin City Limits. What's going on, Professor Daddio? Welcome. Nick's no family dinner. Well, my family is going to go up and visit my brother, but I just can't go up because I got to stay in New York. I got to do a few things. Oh, nice. So let's go over to Columbus Circle first. Now, this apartment right here, you see the lights on the second floor. This is Trump Park East. That apartment's actually for sale, by the way. The one where you right above the Pret kind of cafe there. It's on the second floor. That apartment's actually for sale. It has like a picture-perfect view of Central Park, and that's probably the best seat in the house for the entire Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And if you want to buy it, I know the seller, and the seller is very, very motivated. Or I know the broker who knows the seller, and the seller is very motivated to get out of that deal. So if you want a front row seat to Central Park, you can check it out. If you want to find it, if you just go to Street Easy, you type in 100 Central Park South or Trump Park East, not to be confused with 106 Central Park South, which is Trump Park. It's very, very nice. Cosmo says it's probably too noisy. I thought the same thing, but it's not. It's really not noisy. I was in the apartment. Surprisingly not noisy. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much for being a supporter. Appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well, Michelle K. Appreciate it. I think this is one of the bleachers for the parade. You see right across behind this MTA bus. I wonder if you're allowed to just stand on the sidewalk here and view the parade from here. This would actually be probably the perfect spot because you're under the scaffolding and it's going to be pouring raining tomorrow. So if they allow you to stand right here, it's probably like a perfect place to view the parade. Jay, Larry Adams, what's going on? You can tell at all the very expensive buildings like 15 Central Park West, a lot of the lights are on, and usually none of the lights are on. I feel as if a lot of people come into New York City to specifically have Thanksgiving here. Hey, Brad's Brain, what's going on? Brad, I sent you an email. I don't know if you got it. I flipped you over some research from our institutional guy at O'Neill. I know you like to look at that. This is that place, Bourbon Steak. It's a good spot. All the Art Deco decor. Right here at the Essex House. Chris, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving to you. JC, I'm sure you were enjoying the rally today. big rally day, like a $5,000 candle right off the 21 EMA. Boundless says, have you been around 270 Park? Is it finished? So it's not complete just yet, but it's almost there, and it's looking really, really good. 270 Park is the new JP Morgan Chase office tower. So Jamie Dimon's new lair, so to speak. This is one of the main ballrooms at the Essex House. Looks like they're setting it up for the Thanksgiving dinner. Park Hyatt is also going to have some sort of a Thanksgiving dinner right there at 157. This is right outside the New York Athletic Club. And those are the bleachers, obviously, to view the parade, too. Cosmos is where am I going? I'm probably just going to stay in the city just to hang out. Most of my family is going to go. It's my brother's. He moved to Boston, so everybody's going to go up there. I just can't go up there this year. Just too much craziness going on. I got to work. This is a good shot of 1 Central Park West, 15 Central Park West. And whatever that thing is. Maybe like a weather, something for the weather. Big satellite.
Maybe it goes down there, over here, and then down.
Maybe I'll go to the parade tomorrow too. But the only thing that could pose an issue is the weather. It's going to be downpouring. It's funny, it's going to be downpouring all day tomorrow, but then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all of next week, it's going to be absolutely beautiful out.
Thank you.
I guess that's another perk of living on Central Park South. You have the best view of the parade. That's why I always say, if you ever get a chance to stay in 1 Central Park West, which is the Trump International Hotel and Tower, if you ask for a room facing the park, you could literally just sit at your window and watch the parade. It's pretty cool. I always said my favorite neighborhood of all time is right here, Central Park South. Some of the greatest real estate in the world is right here, particularly this building, 220 Central Park South, developed by Vornado. An amazing, amazing building. Peter, I saw the same thing. Yeah, the weather says it's going to start at 4 a.m., the rain, and then it's going to stop at 2 p.m. So maybe if we're on earlier or later in the day, it should be fine.
But there is a moment.
Let's take one lap around the circle. Oh, you know what? Let me get you to 57th Street first. Because there's a really cool display that they just set up right outside the Nordstrom Tower. But you know what's the best? If you can get yourself a corner unit, like right here. Those corner units, and they're set up so those are the living rooms. So if you see the lights on one of the corners, and one One Central Park West, there's like they're really nice open concept living rooms. They flow really nicely. So we're going to curve around here. This is going to be down Broadway. Hey, Ren 1018, what's going on? Hopefully you're doing good. Wow, look at Deutsche Bank Tower. The city does feel kind of emptied out, though. A lot of people I know of kind of traveling away or out of the city. Now, Brad, that's a good question. Brad says, have we seen any rats lately? Or has Mayor Eric Adams cleaned them up? To give credit where credit's due, I haven't really seen many rats. Really haven't. And the weather's been really warm, surprisingly warm, so you would think you would see more. I think the main problem stemmed from right outside the Plaza Hotel, but they're completely redoing Grand Army Plaza. So this is what I'm talking about. So on top of the Nordstrom Tower, they have these guys set up here. I'm not quite sure what they are, though. Do you guys see that little white blob? And then it has like the two traffic cones on the bottom. This is the smaller one. You're going to see the giant one here in a minute as we make a left, but first we'll make a right. We'll check out the smaller one. Not too sure what that is. I was walking around here getting coffee. I was in the office and I was like, what the hell is that thing? Let's get a closer look. Hey, what's up, Chris? D is here. What's going on? Is that really what it is, Cosmo? Steam coming out of the subway? Oh, wow. NMB 45. This is Tom. I'm in Boston this week for Thanksgiving. I did see a rat today in Boston. You know, that's so funny. My entire family is going to be in Boston for Thanksgiving. Wander all the way. We'll cross and I'll show you the bigger one. If you look all the way in the distance, past the Broadway sign, you can see it. It's like a huge one. And I think they have this massive, like, inflatable hot dog on it. I don't know why. Beats me. Let's cross this way so you can see it just a little bit better. Hey, Jake from Florida. What's up? Hopefully I'll find myself in Florida pretty soon. I was going to fly down to Florida the day after Thanksgiving. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that now. So maybe we'll be spending 2 solid weeks of December down there. Look at that thing. They just put this up yesterday. Hey, Frank, happy Thanksgiving to you. Or I should say happy Thanksgiving Eve. Look at this thing, guys. 2 golden geese. Or maybe they're pigeons, but we'll just consider them the 2 golden geese. This is a unique shot here, too. Look. For those of you who don't know, this is Nordstrom Tower. This is 217 West 57th Street. This is the tallest building on New York City's Billionaires Row. And then you can see that gold top at 220 Central Park South, where we just were. Pretty unique, right? Shrick says, what does my brother do for work? He was a biomedical engineer. So he used to work in Big Pharma. Then he left Big Pharma to work at a startup. And now he's actually switched to a marketing role. I think he's a CMO of a company. But his background is in biomedical engineering. At the Big Red, which is upstate New York, Ithaca, Cornell University. That was the first time I've been to a hockey game, by the way. I saw a Cornell, I forget who they were playing. I feel like, I don't remember who they were playing, but it was an awesome time. Yeah, Mark Francis is tons of pharma in Boston. Huge. Huge, huge. If you're interested in working at a big pharma company or in pharma in general, biotech, I would say Boston is where it is at. That is true. Tons of jobs there. Lots of opportunity. Brad says, Tom, how much did that apartment go for on X? It went for $2,625. And they actually got a pretty good deal on it because the developer paid all the mansion taxes, all the transfer taxes. So if you're not familiar with buying real estate in New York City, if you're buying new development, let's say you're buying, in a brand new building that just went up, sponsor sale, meaning you're buying from the developer, everybody has to pay mansion tax if you're purchasing something over $1 million. But usually, if you're purchasing new development, you also have to pay the transfer taxes. So many people think, if you're interested in, let's say, a 2-bedroom apartment, that's like $2.8 million. They think they can just write a check for 2.8, but you got to pay about a percentage point for the mansion tax and another 2 points for the transfer taxes. So the closing costs are significant, right? Which is why in kind of a down market like we are in right now, real estate is what I would consider like a bear market, or you could say a buyer's market. So buyers can negotiate really good deals. A little tip I'll give you guys is if you're purchasing from a sponsor or a developer, they really want to keep their list price or their print price that's printed in Acris as high as possible to make the comps, the comparable sales, look really good. So they can usually kick in more discounts on the back end. So you could say, look, we'll come in close to asking, but we want you to pay for the transfer taxes, the mansion taxes, the seller attorney fee, the sponsor attorney fee, and any assessments that they have. And 9 times out of 10, they'll do it, particularly in a market right now. This is the Park Hyatt, also 157 West 57th Street. And this is the very famous Russian tea room, which looks really nice tonight. John says, Tom, are you going to see the Cybercab? It's on display in the Meatpacking District. Oh my God, we have to. The Cybercab right now is on display in the Meatpacking District. Let's go. I'm down. I don't have anything to do tonight. Let's make the entire expedition down to Meatpacking. I didn't know that. That's awesome. It's only a matter of time before cities look a lot different. And I think, the grid system of New York is set up perfectly for robo-taxis. It really, really is. So hopefully our local government here in New York City will work with companies like Tesla and many others, right, other competitors, to make New York City a robo-taxi friendly city. I mean, think about if we have autonomous vehicles driving all around New York. The traffic is going to be a lot less harsh, so to speak. This is Steinway Tower, 111 West 57th Street. But how cool would that be if we just have a bunch of Tesla Cybercabs, Google Waymo vehicles just buzzing around New York? It'd be so much more efficient because, when you have all these drivers, and I'm not a big fan of congestion pricing, right? We just need better urban planning, but urban planning for the future. And the future is EVs, the future is autonomous driving, and I think it's going to make the streets a lot safer. Now, unfortunately, and don't quote me on this, you could look this up, I believe 2023 hit a new all-time record high for pedestrian deaths in New York City, particularly for cyclists. That's a big problem, right? It's 2024, and we have more pedestrians, unfortunately, dying than ever before. With AI, with robo-taxis, autonomous vehicles, that goes to zero over time. How do you value that, right? That is the future. Same thing with driving while intoxicated, right? Drunk driving. I'm sure, statistically speaking, we have about, 800 or so people in the audience. Most likely, at least one of us either had a direct family member suffer from a drunk driving accident, or we know somebody who has. All of that goes to zero with autonomous driving. You just jump in a Tesla cab. If you've had a night out, maybe one too many drinks, no problem. The Tesla robo-taxi just takes you where you need to go. I mean, that's huge. That's amazing. That's fantastic. All right, let's cross here and head down. I think we're going to start to buffer as we head closer to Rockefeller Center, but Jim says we have Waymo cars all over Los Angeles. I feel safer when I see one coming near me, for sure. It's kind of a bummer that New York City, we don't have any of that. And I feel as if, with the tech-focused entrepreneurial city like New York, we would have all of those driving around. Hey, 10 Red Buff, thank you so much for your $3 donation. I appreciate you very, very much. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Yeah, Reggie 44, statistics show that everybody at least knows somebody or has had a direct family member impacted. So it's a huge deal. This is the Alliance Bernstein. Now, Alliance Bernstein, one of the main analysts, came on CNBC with some crazy Bitcoin price predictions. Jill Morgan says, hey, Tom, for a scary novel about self-driving cars, read The Passengers by John Mars. I'll take a look at it. Thanks for the recommendation. I'll take a look at it for sure. Wow, Brad says, I heard today in a meeting that tonight is the biggest bar night of the year. I think you're right, because, if you think about the college scene, right? Everybody's back home from college. Obviously, Thanksgiving Day, everybody spends it with their, parents, their family. So the night before Thanksgiving, everybody goes out partying, sees old friends. So I believe it. So with that being said, everybody please drive safe. And, don't drive drunk. We have Uber, we have Lyft, we have a million different options. Just call an Uber, call Lyft. There's no need to drive drunk. Hey, what's up, Tatted T? Cheers. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Speaking of Thanksgiving, the Hilton flagship hotel here. This is where all of those Spirit of America Macy's participants are staying. So all the main performers, they're going to stay right here. And the parade's going to come right down here as well. Right down 6th Avenue. Hey, Mark Summers, what's up? Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. Cheers. Mark, any do you have any update on us? What is a pulse on the Arizona real estate market? Any material changes? Do you see deal flow or deal activity picking up? Any any major market movements now that the election is kind of in the rearview mirror? Hey, Jamie Pope, thank you so much for your very generous $10 donations. Happy Thanksgiving, Tom. Thank you, Mr. Pope, for your donation. Thank you for the support, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family as well. Let's actually loop around so we can see this original New York City yellow cab. I think they had this on display last year too. Now, at the very, very beginning of the live stream, just to quickly note, it's going to be kind of light on the financial topics because it's Thanksgiving Eve. I think we've all had, we've really hammered on it this week. It's the end of earnings season, but a very famous Tiger Cub was in the news today, not for getting arrested and spending 18 years in jail, but his fund has now reached 1,000x. So one of the original Tiger Cubs, which was, a spin-off of Julian Robertson's hedge funds, he had one of the first Bitcoin funds ever, which as of today is now up 135,000%. He was on CNBC today saying that when he was raising money for the fund, he went all over the United States, all over the world. And again, this is a Tiger Cub, so they have the best track record, the best connections, and he could only raise $1 million. He begged and pleaded everybody, and they could only raise $1 million back in the day. Wild. Hey, DC, thank you so much for your $10 donation. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Always appreciate you, DC. Mark Summers has a slight uptick in activity, but nothing major. The feeling is we'll see more inventory hit next year. Hopefully that'll bring some prices down and get the market moving. So you guys can see right on the main door here, it says Spirit of America Productions. Those are all of the main, I believe, the cheerleaders that come in from all over the United States to walk and march in the parade. This is the main flagship that they stay. I wonder how much revenue New York City hotels are taking in. Now, a fun fact for you, this was also on CNBC, but I'm not too sure if you guys remember this. I predicted this back in the summer. I said this year, 2024, for the holiday season, you're going to see hotel rates in New York City hit new all-time record highs. So I believe the average nightly hotel stay in New York City for the month of September was over $400 a night. I have another prediction. Just wait until the average nightly hotel rates for November and December. Wait till those prints. Those prints are gonna, those are gonna make your face just totally blow off. You're gonna see $500 plus average, which means the median is probably, something significantly higher. And at the very, very top end, right, if you just look at the two tails of the distribution curve, the top end is probably going to be $1,400 a night. Crazy. So the average nightly stay in New York City for a hotel in the month of September was over $400. That's wild. That's insane. on us as Airbnb might be cheaper. Well, the problem is the city has really cracked down on Airbnb. And I made another prediction. I said, look, New York City is saying that by cracking down on Airbnbs, there's going to be more supply and it's going to bring down rents for average New Yorkers, which is not true at all. It's just in New York City we have a very, very strong hotel lobby, if you haven't noticed, and they want to act like bullies and they want to act like a monopoly so they could jack the price of the hotels. And that's exactly what has happened. So if you reduce competition from the marketplace, you have monopolistic behaviors, if that's even a word. And now these hotels can really just have a stranglehold on the market. Now, Airbnb is not banned in New York, but there's just significant restrictions on it. And most times, they're 30-day stay minimums. Most times. This is 53. In the real depths of the pandemic, some of these 5-star hotels were going for like $250, $300 a night. So oftentimes, if I was lazy and I didn't want to take the train home, I was like, all right, sure, I'll stay at the Park Hyatt. Sure, I'll stay at Trump International Hotel. You know, and I was paying like $250, $300 a night. Now all of those hotels are like $1,200 a night. Possibly even more. November and December, you're probably going to see the average really explode. You could see Radio City Music Hall in the distance. But I think we may start to buffer here. Usually as we get closer to Radio City, everything starts buffering, but we'll do our best.
Only because you.
Brad's Brains is on an anecdotal note. The mall/outlet stores on my way home in Cypress, Texas. Parking lot was packed. It looked like the day before Christmas. Wow. Now, Target wasn't too upbeat on their holiday sales, but Walmart was. Reggie 44's stores here were packed all week. Hey, hang with Mark Mom. What's going on? Good to see you. Levettis says, do I think Starlink would decrease buffering? I think so, but I think it'd be very difficult to stream with Starlink because you'd have to carry like a huge dish around. But I would say, yeah, I mean, if you're stationary, for sure. Starlink is huge. Hey, Ryan from Texas, what's going on? So just dropped in to say happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, sir. Hopefully you're doing well. Wishing you and your family the best. And good weather too, because we're going to get slammed with rain here in New York. Hey, Michael says, hey, new to your channel, loving the walks. Happy Thanksgiving. Michael, the same to you and yours. I'm glad you're enjoying. Monday's asking what carrier do we have. Usually I'm on Verizon. I should say about 99% of the time we're on Verizon. Yeah, we might as well go over to Rockefeller Center. You can see all the police barricades here for the news cruise for tomorrow. Let's actually go behind here first. Looks really nice. Hey, Buddy Mills, what's going on? Happy Thanksgiving. I see Ben is here. Good to see you, Ben. ATL is a great show as always. Let's go see the Cybercab. That's where we're headed. We're going to see the Tesla Cybercab in the meatpacking district. This is going to be my first time seeing it in person. Saeed Ahmad, or Ahmed. I think it's about 10 o'clock at night. Good to see you, Saeed. I think the best way to get down to the meatpacking is probably if we go all the way over to 8th Avenue once we get to 34th Street. This is probably my favorite angle because you can see all the way to Radio City. Ed says, will this channel broadcast the parade? I'm thinking about it, but as we've said before, I think it may downpour rain. So I'm not too sure. I'll give it about an 80% yes. If we do broadcast the parade, it's going to be early because I got to be up early anyway tomorrow. And maybe we'll do like a behind the scenes thing early. I'm talking like, 7:30 in the morning. We'll see. All right. Cosmo Scary says you have a press pass. So I applied for the press pass, but they denied me and they were asking for more information, and then I didn't have time to do it, so I didn't do it. I didn't have enough mental fortitude to push through, so to speak. So I applied on the New York City website, and they denied it. They were asking for some more information, more proof of something, and I'm like, I don't care about it. Hey, what's up, Mohammed? Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. This guy's stuck in the middle of the crosswalk, so he's blocking up traffic here. Yeah, Peter, I mean, that's a pretty good idea, right? Assuming they'll allow you to stand there, because I remember when I lived at Central Park South, they blocked off the sidewalk in front of our building, from what I remember when I lived there. So I don't think there's going to be pedestrians allowed to line up on Central Park South, closest to where all the condos are, or the co-ops. And I think it's because they don't want to restrict anybody's movement that lives in the buildings, which I get. It's totally understandable. Yeah, New England Crypto, that was cool. I was watching that too. So that's on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. They do that very, very close to the Museum of Natural History. So that's Central Park West. Yeah, Sean D. I may go up there later tonight. I think the viewing stops at about 6 p.m. Maybe I'll go up there later. We'll see. All right, let's check out the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Finally all the scaffolding is down. Wow, what a beauty. Look at this. Wow, does that look great? BOS Geezer says, wouldn't streaming the parade cause a copyright from Macy's? Probably, but I'm not really too worried about that. Pretty much all of our content gets copyright, so I'm not too worried about it. I think this is the first look with all of this scaffolding completely down.
The unlit Christmas tree.
It's beautiful. Oh, that's it. It's not lit.
Let's see if they have the ice skating rink up. It's a pretty significant barricade around here, isn't it? The star at the top looks really, really nice. I think this is the best looking Christmas tree we've had ever in New York City in terms of at Rockefeller Center. It looks very, very symmetrical, and it looks very full, doesn't it? Last year, I don't know. It was all right, but this year it looks really good. It looks like super symmetrical. Looks great. I know, Sabrina Ferris. It's perfect. It honestly does. We'll get a look at the front. Oh, Cybertruck. I love that guy's car, man. What a beast of a car. We haven't seen the matte red Cybertruck yet. We were up by 15 Central Park West. We didn't see it cruising around. Wow, I think it looks even better from this angle. We're now right outside 30 Rockefeller Center. Hey, Gina Thomas, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Wishing you and your family the best this holiday season. It's always a pleasure to see you. Now, for election year, Rockefeller Center looked awesome. For all of those who tuned into the election live stream, everything was lit up in red, white, and blue. It was really, really awesome. So what we're looking at now is Saks Fifth Avenue. Unfortunately, they're not having the major display on the facade. But it does look nice nonetheless. Oh, wow. Yeah, the tree looks amazing. It almost looks perfect. It honestly looks perfect. And that's coming from a person who usually prefers the Wall Street, New York Stock Exchange Christmas tree. It usually looks a little bit more full. But this year, I mean, it looks awesome. Oh yeah, that's right, Gina Thomas. You have a Tesla. Wow, Gina says I bought a Tesla. And I think about you every time I get in. I'm super jealous. How is the full self-driving, by the way? What is your overall experience with it? Everybody I talk to that has a Tesla loves the product. And that's why I'm bullish. The stock here. Obviously not just for as an auto OEM, but as an energy company, an energy storage company. Gina, what Tesla did you get? Did you get the Cybertruck or did you get the Model X? I'm kind of up in the air. I don't know. I think I spoke to you about this. When I do get a car, I'm kind of indecisive between the X and the Cybertruck. Oh, nice. You got the Model Y. That's also great. This is a very unique shot too. Jack says, I can't wait to let Jesus take the wheel and sleep all the way to work. Now that may sound like kind of like a funny comment, but it's true. I mean, think about the safety involved in that. Now think about the safety involved in trucking, right? I'm not sure if we have any truck drivers in the audience. If we do, big shout out. You guys are what make the world go around, essentially, quite literally. Imagine being a truck driver on, those super long haul, 12-hour drives. If you could just turn on full self-driving on like a Tesla Semi, it's amazing. Hey, Robert. Yeah, so I got your email. I didn't respond to it yet, but I'm not too sure. I think you may have it confused because there is no WeWork in our building. And there's only two companies in my building. It's Element, and then it's the law firm that is like a subsidiary of the company who owns the building. So I'm not too sure. Maybe it's you have the wrong address, but I'll check again. But I'm in the office every day. There's only two companies in my entire building. It's Element, and then it's a law office. Let's see how many people are on the ice skating rink. It's actually a lot of people. But Robert, I will get back to your email and I'll email you back. JD's is how long is the wait for the Cybertruck. I'm not sure, but I think the wait is getting a lot less because many people are canceling their orders. There's a ton of people that just put $100 down to secure their spot, and then they just didn't follow through with the purchase. But I'm honestly not too sure. Mark says, Tom, which ice rink do you like better? Bryant Park or Rockefeller Center? I don't know. I think I would probably have to say Rockefeller Center just because it's more classic. But both are really nice. Meld is asking when the tree lighting is. I believe it's December 4th. They're going to be lighting the tree at Rockefeller Center. We'll see. All right, let's start to head down by the meatpacking. So I believe they do. Someone's asking about the copyright scrubbing. I think they'll automatically do it at the end of the stream, but I usually don't deal with it. Wow, John's Tesla just announced lease buyback option tonight. That should boost sales as well. And assuming interest rates come down next year, maybe that'll also boost sales. The Forlorn Wanderer says, do you want to drive a Tesla in New York or Miami? Well, I would definitely not drive it here. I'm very, very against driving in New York City just because it's such a pain. I mean, think about, driving through Midtown Manhattan tonight. It's just too much traffic. It's too much nonsense. But in South Florida, you kind of need a car, right? Unless you live in Brickell, unless you live in downtown Miami, you kind of need a car. Yeah, parking, Jax's parking, that's another thing. If you want to rent a parking space in New York City, the cheapest bottom of the barrel price, you're probably looking at like $550. If you want to buy your own space, you can at minimum you're going to cough up $160,000 if you want to buy your own parking space in Manhattan. If you want to buy it in Brooklyn, you could probably pay $135,000. But I mean, how many people in the audience have a Tesla? Just out of curiosity. We probably have under maybe 7. I think people that are Tesla owners or lease a Tesla. Oh, nice. ATL says you have a Model 3. Awesome. Omega says I have a Model Y. So we actually have quite a few Tesla owners in the chat. Karen Walker says I do a Model 3. Very nice. Also, I have a house down in Miami, so it's obviously better for charging, right? I could just have them install like a like a level 2 charger, right? And the Tesla technicians will probably come out to your house and install that for you, right? I'm assuming. Yannick is 2019 Model 3. Nice, love it. TK Porsche says maybe I'll be the first Cybertruck owner in the group. I think we have at least 2 people that own this Cybertruck. Gina Thomas says you plug it into a regular outlet. What? That must take forever to charge, right? Karen says I plug it into a regular outlet in my garage. That must take forever to charge. What would you say a full charge for a regular outlet? Like a 12 hours to charge? This is the Christmas tree outside of the News Corporation building. I know Mark Summers, Gina Thomas's, if you charge it overnight, it gets up to about 80%. That's good. Now, when I was selling out this place in Brooklyn, at Red Hook, we had a guy plug in over to charge. Well, if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams pretty much every single day, starting at 8:45. And tomorrow we may be live streaming the parade. Maybe. We'll see. Hey, the FDNY is in the chat. What's going on? Says I have a 2022 Tesla S Plaid. I'd rather have this car than a Cybertruck. Wow, that's a really nice car. Fast car, too. Good to see you, Papa Smurf, the FDNY in the house. Happy Thanksgiving. This is the New York City Diamond District, 46th Street. So in Miami, there's this free service. You could look it up. It's a cool company. It's called Freebie. Freebee. And it's a free Tesla taxi service. So you download this application on your phone. And it's essentially like calling an Uber, but it's completely free. I'm not too sure if that company operates anywhere else. But all through Miami-Dade, there's one in Surfside, there's one in Bal Harbor, there's one in North Miami Beach, Sunny Isles Beach, and you could essentially just get driven around by Teslas all day. It's quite nice. Yeah, check it out. So if you pull up another web browser, just type in Freebee, Freebie, Miami, and you'll see the website. You download the application. So if anybody's taking maybe like a weekend in Miami during the holidays or something, and if you don't want to pay for Ubers, you can, I think it's during the hours of 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, you can call a Freebie and just get driven around for free. It's pretty cool. Elaine says, I'm celebrating Thanksgiving with my parents, my brother, my dad's mom, and her caregiver. Wow, awesome. Sounds like a good time. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Wishing you the best, and thanks for watching. So we're coming up to 42nd Street. You're going to see the Bank of America Tower, Salesforce Tower, and Bryant Park near the Steven Schwartzman building. And who knows, maybe the Bryant Park Winter Village is open. Out and about. It's a pretty good idea. Maybe we'll do that. If I ever test drive a Tesla, we'll mount the phone and we'll do a live stream. Oh, is it Freebie? I didn't know. But yeah, I think they have some Model X's in the lineup, some Model Y's. Wow, Mark, 47 guests. That's wild. Crazy. Hey, Omega Sparrow, thank you so much for your $5 donation. This is Happy Thanksgiving. God bless. Thank you, sir. God bless you too. Appreciate it. And have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. ATL's new Model 3s are about $33,000 after rebate. Well, the rebate may be going away. The tax credits, I should say, may be going away. But Omega Sparrow, thank you. Damn. Jay, this is Tom. Do you know if hotel prices will go down? Looking to stay next September. Next September? I'm not too sure, but I think they're going up. You know, we just had some breaking news that hotel prices for the month of September hit a new all-time record high, $400 a night. And I think the print for November and December are going to be even higher. Oh, look at this. I think Indeed, like if you work at the company, they're setting up. That's kind of cool. So they used to do this in my company. I used to work at 1166 Avenue of the Americas, which is this building that we literally just passed. If you signed up with the company, they would allow you to watch the parade from inside. So you quite honestly have a front row view. That's pretty cool. Hey, 안녕하세요. Thank you so much for your 2,000 Korean won. This is God bless. 감사합니다. And Joan Jumal Bonet. Appreciate it. Hey, Troy. Appreciate it. I heard about that. I've been following the Celsius kind of bankruptcy a little bit. That's good. People are going to get their money back. Same thing with the FTX scam. This Sam Bankman-Fried guy. The collapse of the cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. Everybody's going to get their money back. Wow, look at all the police presence here for the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This is Bank of America Tower here. Brian Moynihan, the CEO of Bank of America. And then you have Mark Benioff right next door. Hey, Robert H., what's going on? This is Tom. You have the best city walks. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. Thank you for enjoying and wishing you and your family a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can go inside Bryant Park. Looks like they've left it open late tonight, which is good. And we'll check out the Winter Village at Bryant Park. Or maybe they're trying to close it down and kick everybody out. Looks like it's closing. We'll see. Alfonso S. Says, I'm one of those Celsius users. I got like 50 to 60% of my money back. So could someone kind of explain to me what went on with that? Because I've always stayed away from those crypto kind of lending schemes, so to speak. Now, I'm not even too sure if that's what Celsius was, but from my understanding, Celsius was one of those platforms where you could stake, quote unquote, stake your cryptocurrency for yield, and they were promising investors like some ridiculous yield. Is that what was going on? Because I knew a few of those failed. Even the Gemini lending or staking program failed, and that was the Winklevoss twins. But I don't know. I tend to stay away from all that stuff. Sam Oliver, you are not blocked. I see you. Good to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. Sam M says, I thought you were talking about the beverage. No, not the beverage. I love Celsius, the beverage, by the way. That's been a monster stock. Look, I've been an extreme bull on Bitcoin since 2016. But the value proposition that I have with Bitcoin is it's unconfiscatable money. So the reason why I buy Bitcoin is because I can self-custody, right? Control my own private keys. And if you give your Bitcoin to any one of these platforms, even Coinbase, right? You're essentially by default giving them your Bitcoin to custody. So if anything happens, they're not liable and your Bitcoin is gone. So think about if you have, let's say if you have $1 million worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase, you leave it on the exchange. Let's say New York State comes knocking on Coinbase's door and says, hey, you got to freeze this guy's account. They have to do it. And now all your Bitcoin is gone, right? But if you self-custody, you're good. Telus says, don't forget BlockFi. Wow, that was another one. I completely forgot about BlockFi. Now, with BlockFi, they were pumping that stuff hard. I even think BlockFi was like paying like influencers and people to get people to sign up for that. That's another big red flag too, by the way. When a company is like being very, very aggressive with referral programs, that's a red flag, always. So it's very tempting, right, for a lot of people to say, wow, BlockFi is offering me $1 million. You know, you want to take that bag, so to speak, as all the young guns say nowadays, but those things are not self-sustaining. And if you have, you know, your audience pile their money into these things that go to zero, well, they're not going to be feeling too good, right? So I would stay away from all of that stuff, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I have to say that because I don't want to get sued by any of these companies, but I would stay away from all that. But what do you guys think of the ice skating rink here? The big building you see in the back is the Stephen Schwarzman building, the New York Public Library. Stephen Schwarzman, the CEO and founder of Blackstone. Blackstone has been in the news. They just bought a company or acquired a majority stake in Jersey Mike's. I believe at an $8 billion valuation for Jersey Mike's. Which essentially means now that private equity's in there, they're going to, say, our goal is to increase operations and drive efficiencies, which is corporate speak for they're going to lay everybody off. They're going to have significant pay cuts to the employees, and they're going to raise prices. The rink looks awesome, though. JD, this is how is Kava doing. That was one of my biggest winners for this year. I think since we initiated coverage on the stock, I think it's up almost a little over 200%. But a lot of things are extended now, and it's at a very, very frothy valuation. A lot of the TMLs right now are extended. I think it's over like 150% plus over its 200, so that'll come down. Kava is like a Mediterranean style fast casual, like a Chipotle but Mediterranean food. Wow, this looks awesome. Hey, good to see you, Carol Reevy. What's up? JK says I want to buy chocolate here this weekend. Let me give you a recommendation. Let me take you to a spot that you should go to. It's a little expensive, but everything here at the Winter Village is expensive, but you just got to trust me on this. So I'll take you to where I think you should go. It's back here. I don't know if it's closed off. We'll see. So it's this local farm in upstate New York. And hold on, just let me make sure I can get out of here. Oh yeah, we can. So it's this local, I believe it's an apple farm. We'll read the sign. But if you make a right and you walk down 2 rows of these kind of, what's it called? Like the little shacks, I guess. You're going to see a Joe Coffee. The booth next to Joe is this really, really good spot that has good apple cider donuts. It's pretty expensive. They also have hot apple cider, but it's worth it. I come here every year, like once or twice. It's not this one, it's the next one. Yeah, so if you see this Joe Coffee here, so look for the Joe, and it's right here. Breezy Hill Orchard. This spot is really, really good. Check it out. This is the only booth I come to every year. Breezy Hill Orchard. And you have a pretty good view of One Vanderbilt. It's also adjacent the, I don't think this is called Glacial Express. Anyway, this outdoor eating area, I just forget the name of the restaurant. This place is fantastic. Since we're here, we'll check the prices. Yeah, see, it's pretty expensive, but, what can you do? So 1 for $5, 3 for 13, 6 for 25, 12 for 45. So, if you come here, they may do some significant underwriting on your financials just to be able to afford it, but it is worth it, I will say. 12 ounces, $7, 16 ounces, $8. Interesting arbitrage opportunity there. Anyway, all right, let's head down by Macy's, and then we got to go all the way down to the meatpacking district to see Elon Musk and the cyber taxi, robo-taxi. Anybody see that article that came out? I think it was in the New York Times. The winters in New York are supposed to get increasingly warmer, which is good news. Let's see if we can get out this way. I don't think so. Oh, no, we can. Cool. Black Ribbon, what's up? Happy Thanksgiving Eve to you and your family. All right, let's bang this left. And this is going to take us to a straight shot to Herald Square. Hey, John Mendoza. What's up, John? This is Tom. Speaking of Elon Musk, he was in Brownsville, Texas last week, my hometown. Nice. Where is the main... So I know why am I blanking on the name here? SpaceX. They do their launches from Florida. But isn't there also another launch site in Texas? What's the town where they launch the rockets in Texas? At least I think it's in Texas. Boca Chica. Really? I don't know. Yeah, Bobby Beach. Starbase, isn't it? I don't know. There's another town, like a big boom town in Florida where they have the Space Force base now. How could I blank on the name of this? We were just talking about it. Anyway, there's another spot in Florida, a little bit further north of Fort Lauderdale, where the Space Force does their operations. It's been a long week, and it's very late at night, so I forget the name of the town. But I was actually working... Well, I met with the developer. They're developing some pretty nice condos there. Alfonso S. Starbase. No, it's not Cape Canaveral in Florida. It's, I'll think of it. It'll pop right into my memory right as we conclude the live stream. That's usually how it works. Steve Young, you're right, Satellite Beach. Satellite Beach. Now, there's a lot of high-paying jobs down there now, and the problem is there's not a lot of good product like to buy in Satellite Beach. So there's a lot of new development. There's actually been a lot of developers buying up land down there. Hey, Mark Summers, is Tom. Are you in town the 9th through the 19th? We'll be visiting for Christmas season and would love to run into you for sure. Yeah, I mean, most likely, yes. I have to get down to Florida at some point. I was going to fly to South Florida the day after Thanksgiving, which is in 2 days. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that. So maybe I'll go to South Florida the first or the second week, of December. But I will be in New York City for the holidays. So most likely the answer is yeah. We'll have to grab coffee or lunch or something. Ah, you're correct. Tell us. Yeah, Lumina. It was Lumina. Shout out to the team over there. But yeah, it's a very interesting location there, Satellite Beach. And the team over there, they're really, really nice guys. I mean, they invited me to the office. They showed me the product. Like, really, really nice team of people there. So if anybody's looking to move to Satellite Beach, that's a great project with some really, really, really good people. All right, here we are. Shrek says, Tom, you still thinking about spinning up that other channel? Yes, it is live, but I'm in the middle of moving here, and I just got to get solidified in my place. But 2025, we're going full bore on that because I think it's appropriate, right? Wow, look at all this equipment. Jonathan from Florida says Pompano Beach is booming with condos and luxury apartments. I think the good news for consumers is that you're probably having a little bit of overbuilding down there in South Florida, just to be quite blunt. So you're probably going to see prices come down over time. The problem is a lot of the older condominiums in South Florida are coming up against these big special assessments. Ever since the Surfside collapse, there's been a lot of code changes. So nobody's going to pay, $100,000 assessment if their condo is only worth, $250,000 or $300,000. So I think a lot of those condos will be bought out by like small real estate private equity shops. They'll tear those buildings down and they'll just build new ones. Jonathan from Florida says my HOA is going up $261. Yeah, it's a big issue down there. Well, it looks like the NYPD is closing off 34th Street right now. You can see some of the police officers working on kind of the barricade structure here. You can see all the audio and visual equipment to the left. And if you look all the way down 34th Street, that's the main stage when you watch. If you watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on the TV, that's kind of what you're going to see right outside on that, main stage. Let me see if we can cross here without getting these police officers too upset, or at least without getting in their way. And let's see if we can see the stage. This is the main Macy's right here at Herald Square, the largest department store in the world. Let's actually wait for the light and we'll cross. I'm curious to see if we can get up there. Reggie 44 says Rocket Lab launches rockets in New Zealand. Well, there's another company. There's this satellite phone company that uses SpaceX for their satellite launches. So even though they're a competitor of SpaceX, they have contracts to launch satellites, like low orbit satellites. Hey Lizzie, happy Thanksgiving to you. Hopefully you had a fun night. We're just kind of checking out all the behind the scenes stuff here at the main stage here at Macy's. Look at the gridlock traffic all the way up. Alan says, what's the new channel name? I think we're just going to name it Behind the Street. If you look all the way in the distance, you can see the spire of the World Trade Center, too. Well, I think the light is out. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think the traffic light is out. So we'll just have to... All right, this is a little bit of behind the scenes action here. Wow, look at the stage. Looks like they're putting up the stage right now, or the bleachers for the viewing. I did. SME Media, I saw that on their earnings call. There was like a $154 million accounting error. Apparently it was by one person, too. Let me try to zoom in on the turkey so you guys can see. Yeah, so this is going to be all the main audio-visual equipment. Look at all these tents over here. It's like a row of tents all the way down Broadway. Or 6th Avenue, I should say. Empire State Building is right here. I wonder if you have to have tickets to sit here. Maybe like Macy's employees, perhaps? I know, JK says torrential rains forecasted for tomorrow, which sucks because it's supposed to clear up at 2 p.m. These are the main Macy's windows. Hey, John Mendoza says, Tom, you should have a look into the Rio Grande Valley. It's a booming section in the deep South Texas. You'll love the Tex-Mex food for sure. Let me take a screenshot. I will look into that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do enjoy Mexican food. That's actually what I had for dinner tonight. If anybody's visiting New York and you want like the best Mexican food ever, it's this little teeny hole in the wall place called Burrito Box. It's fantastic. It's right next to where I used to go to school. You just get off at 59th Street, Columbus Circle, and you walk to 9th Avenue and 58th Street. It's right on the corner, Burrito Box. You can't sit down in there. Sometimes they have little stools that you could, kind of sit down a little bit, but mostly it's like a takeout place. But it's really good. It's a good spot. It's been there for, I think, 20 years now, 20 plus. John Mendoza says the accent is different, and the majority... no, you're good. No, we're just screwing around here. The majority of people speak Tex-Mex. We have a bunch of Spanish-speaking Americans. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Get the hell out of here, right?
Leslie says watching NBC Live right now. They're doing a countdown to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on the Upper West Side. Interesting. Well, I know that's where they're blowing up the balloons. I'll have to check it out. Patrick says you're too far north for good Mexican food. Maybe. But look, New York is a very diverse place. There's a big Mexican population in New York City. And, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but New York City does have the best food in the world from all over the world. But I definitely agree. Where I saw the biggest difference, I've only been to Texas one time, by the way. I went to Austin, Texas, and the barbecue in Austin, Texas is just so different than anything I've ever had in New York, by far. I went to this place, maybe some of you have heard about it, maybe some of you have not. It's called Terry Black's, Terry Black's. Really good spot. Very cool spot, too. When I was there, they gave us a tour of all the, what do they call them? Like the smokers, the barbecue smoke pits. It was a pretty cool operation there in Austin, Texas. It was the first time I've ever been, too. Never been to Texas before. That was my first time. Terry Black's. Oh, Smee Media Franklin's. I didn't have enough time to go to Franklin's, but all the locals were recommending that to me. But I had to go back to New York. All right, this guy's gonna block traffic for us, so we'll use him as our battering ram. Oh my gosh, we've already been streaming for 2 hours. Yikes, look what happened here. Oof, man, this doesn't smell too good either. Anyway, guys, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it down to meatpacking tonight because it is kind of late and I got to get up early. But if you guys enjoyed the stream tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. And we will be back tomorrow. I'll try to get down to meatpacking tomorrow. Just a little bit too late. Already been on for 2 hours. Austin City Limits, JK, Jack, Rex, appreciate it. I have been to the Hearst Tower. Dale, Jonathan from Florida, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We will see you tomorrow, wishing you and your families nothing but the best. Try to get some rest, and we will see you very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.